What's up, everybody? My name is Kyra, and thank you for tuning in to the Archive. Today, we're talking about an amazing album by the group A Tribe Called Quest. Released in the year 1991 by Jive Records, Q-Tip, Phife Dawg, and Ali Shaheed Muhammad released the album The Low End Theory. Produced by the three of them, A Tribe Called Quest released something that had an amazing impact on hip-hop and music today. Let's get into it. This album rewired hip-hop's DNA. At a time where rap was getting harder, louder, and more aggressive, Tribe went lower, slower, and jazzier. It was reflective in their tone, in their tempo, and in their intention, even in the lyrics. The jazz bass lines replaced synths. Space replaced clutter, and they were super thoughtful in the lyrics and the type of samples that they used in their music. I will call the three of them philosophers. A prominent bassist on this album, Ron Carter, provided the low end on this joint. And we know the low end in the song, that bass, in my opinion, if that bass is slapping, the song is slapping. So shout out to Ron Carter. And of course, if Q-Tip is on it, it's gonna have the minimalistic drum patterns, and that's just like the DNA of my favorite type of hip hop, where it's not doing too much, it's just steady, consistent, and really hitting that low end good. Hi-hats are consistent, a good pace, and in this album, that's what you're gonna find. In this album, the jazz samples weren't just decorative. It wasn't just something that people put to say, oh, I sampled, John Coltrane, or oh, I sampled da-da-da, like a familiar song. No, this was super intentional. They were super intentional. It really helped form the structure of this album. And I think it's super iconic, and this was something that they did effortlessly. Let's get into some of the lyrical themes. They talked a lot about Black intellect and Black identity. They talked about industry skepticism, and they warned artists on how to, or warned them or gave instructions on how to develop an album, how to put out an album, what to do in a show. They were really talking to the creators, to the rap community, to the hip hop community on how to move and groove in this industry that can be so parasitic and so leechy. Another major theme was masculinity without aggression. They talked about community, they talked about humility, they talked about self-awareness. And something that I really appreciate is we heard a lot of their internal dialogue and not so much of their outward dominance within the community. It wasn't like, yeah, I'm me, ha 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 ha. It was like, no, they were very reflective, and I love that. A Tribe Called Quest. Also on this album, there was a heavy use of machines like the MPC and then the SP1200. And they sampled people like Art Blakely, Grant Green, Minnie Riperton, and many more. So we had live jazz musicians blending with programmed beats, drums. Super cool, classic sound. The lo-fi texture was preserved intentionally, and this is why this album, you can literally put it on, clean the house, you can put it on in the car, you can put it on, it's really calm, and I think that's why I enjoy it so much. A Tribe Called Quest directly influenced so many artists that we respect and honor today. Common, The Roots, Jay Dilla, Kendrick Lamar, Erykah Badu, and of course D'Angelo. Because A Tribe Called Quest proved that hip-hop can be intellectual, musical, and cool simultaneously. The Low End Theory doesn't shout for attention. Again, it's an album that when it stumbles upon you, it has an impact and you can't let it go. It teaches you that less can be more, that groove is a feeling, and that taste is power, that it can influence what you put out, and that it can support your work in having longevity. Some of the key features on this album, which there weren't a lot, there weren't any industry pushed features of whoever was hot in that time. They really had the freedom to put who they wanted on the project. And of course, we had Mr. Busta Rhymes, the legend, the icon. He was on the song Scenario. What's the scenario? And we know his verse was explosive as per usual. It's such a moment. And that's something that I really respect about Tribe Called Quest. Like, if they're gonna have you on their song, it's gonna be for a moment and we're gonna feel it. It's like somebody who was meant to be on the record, not just somebody who's popping. Like, no, this person has something to say on this beat. And Busta Rhymes on this album is actually said to be one of the greatest feature debuts in hip hop history. It was like a new voice being introduced into the culture. Also on Scenario, we have Dinko D, who represents one of the early leaders in the New School connection before Busta Rhymes fully broke out. Let's get into the artwork. Okay, so we have the cover here. Sorry about my little shea butter hands. So this is gorgeous with the red and green and black, which represents, this is the color of our African American flag, our heritage here in America. And they did that here, okay? And this is also the colors of so many black and brown countries. But yeah, fire. This is so fire. And this looks to me like heat. Like, when like they detect heat, that's what it reminds me of, and it's so cute. It's so fire. And they're so handsome. Oh my gosh. So dope. He's just staring into your soul. There's 2 records in here, both sides. So we have A side, B side, C side, D side. This is the back of it. It really gives like the DNA or the anatomy of a human. It looks like that, like the muscles, It's really cool. Here, side A, we have Excursions, we have Bugging Out, Rap Promoter. I love that song. It's like, if your show is whack, I'm leaving. Of course, Butter. Verses from the Abstract, shout out to Q-Tip. We have Show Business, Vibes and Stuff, the infamous Date Rape, Check the Rhyme, Everything is Fair, Jazz, we've got Sky Pager, What, and then Scenario. Super cool, super fire. Then we have the liner notes. All original art was done by Joe Grant. Liner notes, so handsome. And the liner notes, words by Michael J. Moore. We have these gorgeous photos of them in New York City, the home of hip hop. It also came with this poster, which I think is really cute, and I'm gonna actually hang it up on my wall. Let's talk about Ron Carter. Ron Carter is the iconic jazz bassist that played on Verses from the Abstract, Butter, and Excursions. This feature is considered revolutionary because it legitimized jazz rap in a way that sampling couldn't do alone. And we all know when a human actually plays it, the record is way better anyway. You can sample all day, all day, all day, but nothing's gonna beat the actual human playing on the record. And Ron Carter brought that energy, brought that livelihood to this record. Also, he played upright, and that was super unheard of back in the day in hip hop. This album didn't have many features because they really wanted to focus on Tribe's inner dialogue. In classic Tribe fashion, they say on the album, "We don't need many voices, just the right ones." The Low End Theory by A Tribe Called Quest isn't just a classic, it's a blueprint. Shout out to A Tribe Called Quest. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, share it with somebody else. And if you have a suggestion on what vinyl I should get next, please don't hesitate, comment, what I should do next. All right, love you guys. Peace.